Whenever. Travel back with me in time for a moment in our nation's history to a date far from our modern-day America. The date I speak of happened 230 years ago. Life was sure different than it is today. In fact, the roads that you travel each day didn't even exist. Electricity hadn't even been invented. There were no automobiles, shopping malls, or amusement parks. The date I speak of is April 19th, 1775. What is so important about this date that happened so long ago? Well, this date not only changed the course of your life and mine, but future generations to come. It was the date of the shot heard around the world, the first bout of the American Revolutionary War. On that date in April, ordinary Americans took to arms. They weren't professional soldiers. They were regular men, farmers, laborers, and craftsmen. These men fought so long ago, sacrificing their very lives that we might be able to live in a free country. Way back in 1775, the colonists were under British rule, and the British government was tightening its control over the colonists. The colonists were voicing their concerns over higher and higher taxes. They were taxed on things that they used every day, like sugar and paper. Unlike our government today, the colonists were taxed without the right to representation. A conflict began to build. The colonists secretly began storing ammunition in Concord, Massachusetts. The British heard about this, and they sent a general named Thomas Gage to arrest two of the American patriots, Samuel Adams and John Hancock, and capture the arms and ammunition that the colonists had hidden. A little before midnight on April 18th, 700 British soldiers silently crossed the Charles River to Cambridge. The Americans already learned of this plan, and Paul Revere, a leading patriot of Boston, arranged with his friend to hang lanterns in the bell tower of the Christ Church in Boston. He was to hang one lantern if they were coming by land, and two if they were coming by sea. As the British landed on the mainland, Revere saw two lanterns glowing in the church tower. Immediately, Revere leaped onto his horse and dashed across the countryside, shouting, "The regulars are coming! The regulars are coming!" Revere warned the people, stopping at each house. He arrived in Lexington about midnight. Captain John Parker ordered his drummer to beat the drums to call a small band of 70 militiamen to the town green at Lexington. We don't know what went through the minds of these few brave men shivering in the chilly dawn. What do you think would have been going through yours? They had every right to be scared. After all, they're a small, untrained band of farmers and tradesmen. We're about to face 700 of the world's best professional soldiers. They lined up in battle formation. They could hear the distant sound of marching feet. The redcoats were coming. Soon, the British column emerged through the morning fog. Captain Parker yelled, "Stand your ground. Don't fire unless fired upon. If they want to have a war, let it begin here." Major Pitcairn of the British Army yelled, "Lay down your arms, you rebels." The brave men held their ground, but thinking their situation was hopeless, Parker gave the order to disperse. But all of a sudden, a shot rang out. No one knows for sure which side fired the first shot. The first engagement between the British and Americans had begun. It only lasted a few minutes, but there was no turning back. The American Revolutionary War would last 8 years and it 2 centuries of British rule and led to the creation of the modern United States of America. Do you think those few brave men shivering in the cold morning of April 19th, 1775, had any idea the lasting impact their acts would bring to our modern world? Great men and women have left a lasting legacy for every American. Many have sacrificed their very lives that we might be able to have the freedom that we so easily take for granted. We owe a great debt to these brave and heroic people, a debt that can only be repaid by trying to help preserve the freedom that they so valiantly fought for. In the words of President John F. Kennedy, "We dare not forget today that we are the heirs of that first revolution. Let the word go forth from this time and place to friend and foe alike that the torch has been passed down to a new generation of Americans." We are that generation, you and I. Let's remember, stand firm and keep the torch lit. Thank you.